Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Small Stages, Big Sounds. I'm joined by a longtime friend of mine, Mark, who runs Midnight Tornado Music News and Events Promoters. He runs a lot of grassroots music scenes and puts on a lot of bands around South and East Wales. Hi, Mark. How are you today?
Hiya, David. I'm good, thank you. Cheers to have me on there.
You're welcome. I'm just going to play the intro music. So there we are.
That's some brilliant intro music there, I've got to say.
Oh, it's my son. He did that did 3 versions in about 20 minutes for me.
Awesome, I love it.
We'd like to have a chat about how you got into being a music promoter. To take it away.
Yeah, no worries at all. I mean, I think like lots of different promoters you'll speak to, I've got a feeling most will say that it was by accident. It certainly was in my case. I was just, and I still am, a massive rock and metal fan, just absolutely addicted to music in a massive way, just love it. And I've been like this since, sort of big time since I was about 12, 13 years old. So basically, you've just got this music fan back in the day, around 2014, just going to the gigs, going to the clubs, just loving music, really. I think the genre that I was best known for, being well into back then, it was my 80s kind of sleaze rock and hair metal. Everyone sort of knew me as the guy who loved that the most. You can kind of tell with the Midnight Tornado thing how I totally ripped Skid Row off with that one. The same with Sweet Little Sister Touring. So yeah, I've always had this thing about that kind of genre. So I was approached by somebody at the time who just bought a venue, like a 300-400 cap venue, and they wanted to run a club night with that genre. Being new to the kind of the area and the scene, they were advised to speak to me. So initially I was approached and asked, would I DJ this club night? Because it was kind of my thing, the music. It's kind of what I loved. So I agreed to take it on board as a DJ. There was no sort of promoter kind of role going on at this point. So yeah, I started DJing it, the 80s sort of club night. And initially we booked tribute bands to play before the club night started. They were all kind of relevant, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, things like that. But yeah, I started having local bands asking could they play as well. Original bands, which I thought was brilliant. So, it gets them on a stage and the club night was nice and busy. So yeah, we started having them open as well. So that kind of led to me starting my work with the grassroots scene a bit more. So we did this monthly, but obviously I had more and more local bands speaking to me, trying to get a gig on this night, which was only once a month. So as you can imagine, opportunities were very limited. So we decided to do a couple of extra ones. The club night got quite big. I mean, at one point we had Hardcore Superstar come and play it. So, it was really getting a good name. As it got bigger, we started doing a bit more with it. So it opened up the door for more opportunities for more bands to play more shows. But yeah, I just kept getting asked and asked and asked. In the end, I kind of lost a bit of love for the club night. I think I just got a bit bored, but I really enjoyed the whole putting on gigs. So initially I thought, I'm not going to do the club night anymore, but I am still going to put on gigs. So essentially, I'd accidentally become a music promoter. My first thought was, I'm going to just do charity gigs. So that's initially what I did. My first few gigs were complete and utter charity fundraisers. That's all they were. But yeah, as well as raising money for good causes, I was also helping to get grassroots bands from South Wales on the stage. Yeah, I'd accidentally, I think, become a promoter at that point. So then I decided to actually launch a promotion company, just to put on shows a bit more regularly, a bit more online promotion for the bands. And it just went from strength to strength, really. And it's grown and grown, and sort of about 4 years ago, it took a new identity and become Midnight Tornado. I think we did our launch show, I say 4 years ago. It was 2019. It was in the November, and we did our launch show. So this big new thing, which, I was really excited to show off and do. We launched November 2019, our first show. Our second show was March 2020, and a week later, the whole of the world was shut down and everyone was in lockdown, and all the plans for the Midnight Tornado launch were just... it's like with everyone, all of our plans went up in smoke. So kind of had to sit on it for a little bit and then sort of come back and gradually get to where we are now, I think. And we couldn't really be any more active than where we are now. We're lovely and busy. We're working with so many bands, doing so many great things, really. We're all having loads of fun. I hope that kind of explains. That's cutting a long story really short, condensing sort of 10 years into our 10 minutes. But from where I was in 2014 to accidentally becoming a promoter really is the answer to your question, to where I'm at now.
Okay. So who was the first band you put on, and are they still active?
Now then, it's so funny you should say this. Sometimes when I look at the posters from 10 years ago or 8 years ago or even 5 years ago, it's quite sad, because you look at some of these amazing lineups now and half the bands don't exist anymore. I remember showing my event partner Matt something I did a few years ago, well before he was involved. He turned around to me, this was a few weeks ago, and said, that is like a nostalgia trip. He said, look at all these bands now that don't exist. And I said, I know. It's really, really sad. The first band, okay, when obviously the club night, that was pretty much tribute bands. But the bands that we first started working with, they did play the club nights, and they did then go on to play various shows that I was involved in when I officially became the promoter. We're talking about bands, awesome bands, which sadly, no, they don't exist anymore. Bands like Beautiful Strangers, The Texas Flood, Forever Vendetta. These were the kind of bands back then. And it's so sad, because they were so awesome. I still listen to them, but... no, in answer to your question, those were the bands, and no, they don't exist anymore. Like so many good bands, unfortunately, for one reason or another, that it just hasn't happened.
Yeah. So have you ever had a band on the bill that has become much bigger?
Well, I've had bands on my bill that have gone on to become much bigger. All I've done really is get their name on posters at a time when that's what they've needed. If you go back to sort of around 2016, 17, 18, I was putting on a couple of local bands at the time there quite regularly, Florence Black and Those Damn Crows. And they are two great examples of bands that have, oh my God, they really have gone on to big things. But they've gone on to these big things, I would say, not through anything any of the promoters have done. We've just given them a stage when they needed to get their name on posters. That's what we did. And through their own hard work and their own brilliance, they've gone on to much bigger things. But yeah, in terms of bands that I have worked with previously, put on shows regularly for back then, those two certainly spring to mind. When we were putting on Florence Black, and I remember the first time I caught them at a biker rally in, I think, I'm going to say 2016. I've never in my life been so blown away by a band that I knew nothing about and that I'd never seen in my life. Just looked up, there they were. At the time, they didn't even have enough original material to do a full set. There were loads of covers, but even their covers were amazing. There was just something so special about them. So yeah, at that time, you had sort of Florence Black. We started putting on shows, but we were charging sort of £3 or £5 for tickets in advance and still only getting like sort of 50 people in. I remember the first time I did Those Down in Sin City, we sold like 50 tickets. It's quite remarkable to see sort of how some of these bands have progressed since we did the shows back then. But obviously back then, they were just like any other bands that we work with today, for example, that just need their name on posters and get their branding out. And then if a band's good enough, they do the rest, don't they?
I remember seeing Florence Black in 2015 at Steelhouse, and they blew me away then. And, I've followed them ever since. And the same with the Crows. I mean, my claim to fame with the Crows is I did the sound for them at the Biker Festival.
That's awesome.
So we all help a little.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's been there to support them from from day one. They've had a lot of people support them who still do. And now they got lots more people supporting them, which is absolutely amazing to see. But yeah, I mean, Florence Black have gone on to pretty big things as well. You see, like, their tours abroad where they're sort of doing stadiums. You're like, oh my God, look at what the lads are up to there. But it's amazing to see when you sort of do what I do, and you work with bands sort of at grassroots level, and then you see a band start to take off a bit. You're like, wow, this is so cool. This is so amazing. You just love to see it. And you just hope it's going to happen with more and more bands that you work with.
Indeed, indeed. So, what have you got coming up as part of your promotional efforts?
Okay, well, on Tuesday night, we are in our Cardiff home, Fool.
Mm-hmm.
A very special show for me, this one, actually. With Shares Lane from Finland. I first worked with them back in 2000 and we did a show in Cardiff. And no word of a lie. I mean, I've wanted to do another show with them since 2018, but it just hasn't aligned at all. But yeah, they were over here doing this and that. I mean, they played the Uberrock Festival, which is an awesome festival. I think that was, I think it's happening now. But they played it a couple of days ago. And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so they were over here for that, and they were stringing some dates together. And yeah, I just got asked would I help with a random Tuesday night, and I wasn't about to turn that one down because Shares Lane for me are one of the most underrated rock bands literally on the planet. They really are. Like Hardcore Superstar, who I mentioned earlier, they're one of those bands that for me have just never gone as far as they should have. Shares Lane for me are more than a band that sort of play the clubs, but that's where they're at, and they always play like they're playing an arena, even if they're in a club. They're a spectacular live band. I mean, they are just absolutely awesome. So I've been absolutely busting to get them back. So yeah, I've got them Tuesday night. We've got Support, who are a new one on me, but since booking them, sort of they were included in the tour package that I booked. Now I'm seeing the name everywhere. 13th Doors, or 13th Door.
Funny that. Something came up when I was coming back from Swansea yesterday on my Spotify.
Yeah, I mean, new one, but I think they're popping up. They're starting to get everyone's attention now a little bit. So I'm quite excited by this because no disrespect to the guys. I had never heard of this band previous to booking onto the tour. But yeah, sort of now I see them everywhere. But also, whenever I see them sort of mentioned online, people are saying they're really, really good. I'm really looking forward to them. I've booked a couple of local bands as well. It's always good to have some local support on any show, I think. You're no doubt already aware of James Kennedy and the Underdogs. I think most have heard them fairly recently. They've been quite busy this year. They've been quite active. I mean, they very similar to the first time when I saw Florence Black all those years ago, and they blew me away. I booked James Kennedy and the Underdogs for a show at the Bunkhouse in Swansea earlier this year. And yeah, for a band that I'd never seen live before, their set absolutely blew me away. There's no two ways about it. They are special, and they've also got some potentials. The fact that they've agreed to join us on Tuesday night as well, and a brilliant opener. Really good friends of mine from back in the Raider days. Mike and James have formed, because obviously Raider are no more, another band that sadly, like sort of the bands I mentioned earlier, sadly are no more. But yeah, Mike and James have stuck together and put Break the Day together. They're absolutely brilliant, sort of 80s rock, very Raider sort of style. So yeah, they're going to open for us on Tuesday. So we got quite a busy night ahead on Tuesday. quite a fun one. And you are joining us on Tuesday, aren't you?
I am indeed, camera in tow.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time. And yeah, we've still got plenty of other things going on. We got Defences back at Fool in July. Defences actually played Download last week or the week before. So we're quite honoured to have them. They're going from sort of playing the big stage at Download to playing a sort of small intimate club date with us. But they're a phenomenal band. So yeah, we're really lucky to have them. We got our friend Sydney Fate joining us for that one, who we love. And then yeah, we've got a bit of a break then till September. And then we've got Cardiff Live with a really heavy band from Liverpool called Cut Short, but I think people are going to enjoy them. They have played and sold out their own show at Fool previously a couple of years ago, so we're excited to have them back. We've got Swansea Live in October. We've just announced that one with Ollie Brown and the Dead Collective. Just a phenomenal band. Like anyone who's ever heard Ollie Brown's music would say the same. Yeah, we got a show with Sweet Electric as well coming up in Bridgend in between those. So we've just got loads and loads going on at the moment. But as they say, busy is good.
Well, yeah. As long as you're busy, you got things to do.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes I think I'm like everyone else and I sort of complain a little bit that I'm too busy, I'm drowning. But the minute I get like just one day, where I don't have to do a thing, I go absolutely spare. I climb the walls. Like, I've got to be busy. I'll find things to do if I haven't got things to do. So, but also with the music side of things, I mean, I'm a music fan at the end of the day. I mean, I don't even generally class myself as a promoter, if I'm honest. I'm just a music fan who puts on shows. So for that reason, being busy is also really cool because I'm booking and putting on loads of bands that I really want to see myself. So, I'm really enjoying life when I've got tons of them upcoming.
Talking about you and your charity work, I'd like to say congratulations on the work you're doing for Cerebral as well.
Oh, thank you, mate. It's such a pleasure. It's just the most wonderful job to have. It was because of that pandemic again and plans not going to plan. We accidentally got thrown together because I'd never heard of them, if I'm honest, before sort of the pandemic. And we accidentally found each other during the pandemic. I didn't know how it was going to work. I'm going full time as a charity worker, something I wanted to do, but I didn't know whether. It was a new realm for me. I thought with everything going on in the world at the moment, I'm going to give this a try and see how we go. The charities sound absolutely amazing and I'd love for this to work. And I'm over 4 years now and it's worked. It's working absolutely brilliant and I'm genuinely getting to do something that I absolutely love every single day. In fact, if I'm honest, I feel very thankful and very blessed every single day because, if I'm not doing charity work with Cerebra, I'm doing music work with Midnight Tornadoes. So, I've got 2 roles there, which I really, really enjoy. And like I said, I feel so blessed and so thankful because, so many people in life do various roles because they have to get by. I've always been the same. You'll do whatever it takes when you've got a family to support and so on. But when you find those roles that you absolutely love and you enjoy, and you get to do them every day, like I said, mate, it's absolutely incredible. I couldn't feel any more thankful and blessed than I am to be in this position. And I'm hoping it lasts, forever really, but for as long as possible. Certainly, I wouldn't change a thing right now.
Well, thanks for your time, Mark. It's been great talking to you. And,
thanks for having me on.
I look forward to seeing you and having a chat on Tuesday.
We'll have a good chat on Tuesday. And thank you so much for having me on. I absolutely love what you do, your support for the grassroots scene. We need more people like you, David. We really, really do.